Before I start with our very esteemed panel on this, Vinod Mehta, editor-in-chief of the Outlook magazine, Anil Dharkar, well-known columnist and writer, Nalini Singh, a very, very well-known television personality and senior journalist. Between the three of them, they hold a lot of experience. And thank you so much for joining us on the show. But let me just quote this for you, Mr. Mehta, Nalini Singh and Anil Dharkar, before I start. This is what was said. This is one of the several reviews after Prince happened. It says, the media is so caught up in instantaneous news that the larger issues get lost. I don't know what the larger issues are. What was television doing? Getting its regular insulin shot through this so-called, quote, human interest story? That is what was said after Prince. And there were a lot of people around. I'm sure all of you three gentlemen, both of you gentlemen, Nalini Singh, remember what was said then. Would you still feel the same way today? Let me begin by asking you, Nalini Singh, would you still feel that way today? Where do you stand on this? What would you like to say?
Well, Arnab, whoever said this, and I know lots of people said this, I want to know, do they know what it is to fall 75 feet into a borewell, to be scared, to be scarred, and not to know what is going to happen and what has happened? These are the people who are saying that the media went overboard. These are the people who are saying that this was the insulin shot for the media. I do agree that there are certain stories that are made for the media. There's emotion here, there is drama here, there's suspense here, there's the army here, there's the entire country watching. But for the critics who are saying that this is something which was just the media going overboard, please, I would like to say, in fact, I fault the media. I fault the media for not having highlighted this before this incident. You know, each time we're doing a post-mortem, and by the way, ironically, as the three of us, the guests over here, and you people in Bombay, we are doing a television post-mortem. Guess what? Ironically, the post-mortem on this little 2-year-old's body is being done right now. So does that look like media overkill? And pardon the pun over there. So in fact, I would say the media is at fault. The UP Jal Nigam and the Jal Nigam of all the states are at fault. This is probably an unintentional murder by them. The panchayat is at fault. This was 2 to 3 months this borewell had not functioned. There wasn't even a fence around it. The parents are at fault. Who would let a 2-year-old child wander off and then fall into a well? But more than that, the family structure is at fault. The powerless mother, the young, uneducated mother, who has to follow some archaic practices of the past, despite her better sense. So she couldn't say anything. She had no voice. So I'm afraid there's a lot of, if you're going to raise fingers there today, lots of fingers in lots of directions at play, but not so much in the media, except that it didn't do it ante-mortem rather than post-mortem.
Absolutely. I'm certainly not a cynic. Before I come to you, Vinod Mehta, no critic ever complained when for 4.5 decades on a state channel we had endless breaking news of ribbon-cutting ceremonies that was going on by every second minister. That's not seen to be sensationalism. Are people getting too cynical? Why is this tragedy repeating itself? What does the media need to do more, Vinod Mehta, in your view, to bring these kind of instances to light?
I think it's very important and I think necessary to bring these incidents to light. But I think each channel must make up its own mind what kind of proportion, what kind of coverage are they going to do, and are they only going to get obsessed with the rescue drama, because the rescue drama makes very fine television. It's rescue and it's live, etc., and therefore there is non-stop coverage. But there are more fundamental issues which have happened in every incident, and those issues are the following. Child protection is very low down in our national priorities. And secondly, if you notice, all the children, all the kids who are affected by these incidents come from the marginalized sections of society. It's not rich kids who fall into borewells. It's not rich kids who fall into tube wells, into manholes. So why is this happening? And I think I'm hoping and I wish TV would also go back to the Prince incident and look at the village where Prince was rescued from, and to see how many manholes have been covered, how many ditches are there. Go back to the scene of the crime. That is also a story.
Absolutely.
The story who is responsible for the Arnab? I would say that if Times Now was to file a public interest litigation on behalf of the family and sue the municipal authorities, I mean, they must be taken to task, but if they get away with just media coverage and nobody takes them to task, who are the people who leave these borewells unattended? Who are these people who leave these manholes open? This is a walking death.
Well, let me tell
so
you.
How are we going to take these people to account, or are we just going to get obsessed with the drama of the coverage of the rescue?
Let me tell you, Vinod Mehta, I completely agree with you that this needs to be followed up. Completely agree with you that this is not about the rescue drama, it's about following it up, it's about following things up extremely seriously. Let me go to Anil Dharkar on this. You were a little cynical the last time when the Prince episode happened. I remember you felt it was a little over the top. Now,
well, I felt that the media played it up, and at that time. Now, when we've had 3 instances like this, there was one after Prince also, and now we have this poor 2-year-old dying, which means that no one really gives a damn. Then now I think it's not just media's, I think it's incumbent on the media to do something. And I would like Times Now to take it up as a cause. Go beyond reporting it. One aspect is that, of course, you have to show the human story. The rescue operation is drama, you have to show that. You have to create people's interest. But, as Vinod said, take it up as a PIL, a public interest litigation.
Absolutely.
Find the guys responsible. Now, we have a government agency here, which had dug the borewell. It wasn't some private little chap digging a borewell. It was a government agency, I believe.
Yep.
Catch the chaps. The officers there should be personally held accountable. What is that phrase? A culpable homicide not amounting to murder? Make it as serious as that. Bring a charge like that. And, you know, what you have to do, Arnab, is make safety a cause. Borewell is one. You have open manholes. You've got all kinds of safety rules being ignored completely. Make this a test case, you know.
Well, absolutely. I just want to share on a more personal note. Thousands of viewers have been calling up after this incident happened. The viewers are not cynical at all. I want to go to Nalini Singh at this stage. Ms. Singh, you remember there was another incident a few years back, I think 7 or 8 years back. At that time, there had been a food minister who said, talking of the starvation that's reported in Odisha, he said, well, the problem with television channels is that the few people die and you make a big deal of it, and that food minister had to apologize on the floor of the House. His name was Shanta Kumar. I think he'd still remember what had happened then. That also could have been brushed aside as an isolated incident, typically. In fact, I'd just like to add one quick word to it. You're much more experienced, Vinod Mehta. But of course, one quick word to it, that in this country, the biggest people feel it is beneath their dignity to be responding when asked about an incident like Sonu's. They feel it's beneath their dignity, that some lowly official should be responding to them. That's also the fact. Quick last word from you, Anil Dharkar, on this.
I think Times Now is being too defensive.
Yeah.
I think what you are doing is right. I think you should push it as much as you can. Yeah. Keep the story alive and catch these guys. Make some of them go to jail. Make some of them pay fines.
Absolutely. I promise you, I'm saying this on television tonight, on live television, that we will. We will follow this story till its natural fruition. Thank you very much. Anil Dharkar, Nalini Singh and Vinod Mehta for sharing your experience and your thoughts on that.